Okay, the state of BDO. Well, I wasn't going to make this video, so this is kind of rushed. I was going to make a video on Agris, and then I was going to make a video on how to teleport into History and Akban, but all those videos turned out to be like 10-hour long work in progress videos. I was going to do a video on Gahaz, but I'm not finished testing Gahaz yet. So here we are, testing and talking about the state of BDO because I can make a quick video about it. The state of BDO. PVE. All right, how's PVE? Well, I think class balance is pretty good. There are no classes that are like horrible. Like Corsair is a little weak. You know, I've heard Valkyrie might be a little weak. But overall, like every class can be played in PVE, and they all have their benefits. Like Valkyrie can go and grind Ash Forest because they're so super tanky with their 360 block and all that. And in Corsair, if played at a super high level, can be competitive trash-wise. But so PVE class-wise balance it's okay. It's not bad. It could be better, but it's okay. Grind spots. Well, you know, if you haven't been playing BDO for a while, they are currently going through and rebalancing all the trash loot in the game. They do this every year or two. They just go through and buff all the trash loot. This is part of the whole idea of they want inflation in the game, so then new players come and grind money, and it's easier for them to catch up because there's more money in the game than there used to be. This helps new players, it hurts veteran players, but it's overall good for the game, I think. So, this is making all the old grind spots super viable, right? Like, Gahaz right now is like 650 million, Kadri's is like 500 to 650 million. On season, like, Gahaz is apparently like closer to 800 million. They just recently added Decky Lantern spots for Ash Forest, Tauros, Thornwood, Olin Valley now has Deboreka earrings. They're about to add 4 new grind spots over here in the Medea Part 3, or whatever they're going to be calling this. And so this is actually really cool. 4 grind spots. They're adding a new boots to grind for. This kind of brings us into gear, right? They have new boots to grind for. They have the gloves from Land of Morning Light to grind for. There's the Deboreka earring to grind for. They have a new crystal that they're releasing. You know, with Ash Forest, the lantern spot, Decky Lantern and Ash Forest is going to make it where you can actually get Deboreka necklaces super easy. So now for the first time, you know, we're going to make the Deboreka neck, Deboreka earrings, the boots, and the gloves. I mean, we got a ton of stuff to work for right now. And that's super good. That's very, very good. That's lots of content for people to grind for in PvE. So I think PvE, along with all the quality of life changes they're making in the game right now, huge. That brings us to PvP. How's PvP? Well, PvP, I rate PvP on 4 categories. How is the balance between game modes and classes? How does it feel? What are the rules of PvP? Are they fun rules to PvP? And how's the lag? All right, so let's talk about balance first. Balance, I think, is about 50-50. You know, if you're in like a 1v1 and it's a fair matchup, PvP feels okay. You know, it doesn't feel too bad, especially at lower gear scores. Like Arena Solar, like PvP balance feels amazing in Solar. At in-game, you get one-shot by everybody. That's not very fun. So I think at in-game, that's very, very bad. You know, so balance at in-game, bad. Balance at earlier, you know, mid-game or early game, pretty good, it feels like. Healing is too strong still. Too many CCs, too many super armors, too many iframes. That's never changing. Right, that's not going to ever change. The feel of combat, though, pretty good. So I'd say balance is probably a failure because, you know, Arena Solar plays differently than Red Battlefield, which plays differently than Open World, which plays differently than Node Wars. They all have different balances. You know, these little special caveat rules for them. The other thing I'll say about the feel of the game is open world PvP feels less laggy than it ever has been. I don't know what changed in the last year and a half, but open world PvP feels way less laggy. Now I don't know exactly what that is, but that's not true for like Arena Solar. That's not true for all these other things, right? Like it's not true for what's it called? It's not true for Node Wars. Node Wars is still super laggy, especially the big fights. So, but open world feels less laggy. It's just these special game modes that feel more laggy still. And then rules, right? So the rules of PvP, I mean, I think it's more or less fine. You know, Karma could be adjusted to be a little bit more fun for open world. Node Wars probably needs some tweaks. Arena of Solar, I think, is almost perfect. You know, because actually It's just about perfect for Arena of Solar, I believe. You know, Red Battlefield probably needs some new maps, probably needs some rule adjustments. But the rules of PvP and BDO, I think, are like reasonable. So TLDR, I think balance BDO fails. I think lag BDO fails. I think the feeling of combat, it gets a huge success, and the rules of combat, I think it gets a. I think for the rules of combat, it gets a success also. You know, it could be better, but it's a success. Overall, though, I think that means that BDO's PvP right now is not worth playing for me. A lot of people still enjoy it, but it's not worth it for me. They are making Karma, Global Karma, which is going to be a good thing. They're making the new zones in southern half of Medea a bandit zone. They're making the bandit zone in the desert go away. So this is going to make PvP at the super in-game grind spots a little bit more of a thing. I think that's good. But I still don't think this is enough to make PvP good, and they're not really focusing on fixing it. So I don't think it's going to be fixed anytime soon. Life skills. All right, life skills. I mean, what can I say? If you've never done them before and you like comfy type games, like life skills is going to be your thing, you're going to like it. Gathering is always enjoyable. Hunting is, you know, some people like it, some people don't. Cooking is always enjoyable. You know, getting more energy and contribution and figuring out your worker empire is always fun for life skills. But ultimately, it's not really changed. It's the same as it was 8 years ago when BDO released. Aside from them adding sailing and life skill mastery, it's more or less the same. So if you enjoyed life skilling years ago, you're probably going to still enjoy it today. The money's been improved, and you know it's been updated to keep it somewhat relevant, but it's not getting better and it's not getting worse. So it's kind of the same for PvP. So what does this mean for BDO? Well, if you're a type of player who wants lots of PvE and you want to grind for a long time, you want new classes, you want new regions, you want new grind spots, new gear, I think BDO is probably the best it's ever been as far as that goes. I think PvP, BDO was better in the first 2 years for PvP. Life skilling, it's the same as it's always been. So I guess what I'd say is if you're a PvE player, I think it's the best time ever to try out BDO. If you're a PvP player, I think it's worth trying out BDO just to know how good PvP can feel. But it's probably not going to be your cup of tea. And then, not your cup of tea long term. There's not really any other PvP MMOs, so you don't really have much choice anyway, though, right? And in life skills, if you're looking for a comfy MMO, you want to get into life skills, and that's going to be your cup of tea. You know, there's not very many life skill or like comfy MMOs out there, and BDO does scratch that itch, I think, pretty well. You know, it's not going to be the most profit in the entire game, but that's not really your goal, right? Your goal is to have fun and, you know, set your own goals and enjoy the game at your own pace in a more casual way. That's the whole purpose of life skills. So that's my thoughts on BDO. If there's anything I missed, let me know in the comments. I'm going to keep on working on some of these other videos I mentioned at the start of the video. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be going live on Twitch after this video, so go over there and hit the follow button and ask me any questions you got. Or if you don't like Twitch, then hit the subscribe here on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.